Across what time frame should we diversify foods? Hi, I'm Chris Masterjohn, and I have a PhD in nutritional sciences. I am not a medical doctor, and nothing contained in this episode may be construed as medical or nutritional advice of any kind, or a substitute therefore. This episode is meant purely as scientific education. If you wish to act on any ideas presented in this episode, please consult your physician first, and never take anything herein as a reason to contradict medical advice. With that said, enjoy the episode. Okay, so RJ Douglas said, Chris, first of all, thanks for your great work. I think you're helping a lot of people in a few podcasts. Sorry, my question got cut off. In a few podcasts I have heard you do, you discuss how important it is to diversify one's diet amongst different sources of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Could you please elaborate on what time range someone should consider their food choices diversified, and whether this would vary based on the macronutrient? For example, if I batch cook a particular protein, a whole chicken, for example, and then eat it through the week, and then change to another protein source the next week, would that be sufficient to meet your definition of diversifying? Or would eating the same protein source for an entire week have potential negative issues? I personally would diversify the I think for the sources of protein, I would I think the way you're doing it is adequate. I think a 1 week rotation is great. I think it's totally impractical to do anything less than that, unless you have all the time in the world to cook, or someone's cooking for you, or you're getting prepackaged meals that are on some rotation. So I know that I personally, if I'm doing my own food prep, there's no way on earth I would ever be able to diversify more than cooking up a bunch of chicken for the week and eating that, and then cooking something else the next week. But I guess you do want to make sure that you're mostly getting most of your vitamins and minerals on a daily basis, though. And that's not so much because you can't go a few days without getting them. It's more because you can't, you hit absorption caps for a lot of them if you try to just bulk load them up. Now, if you're diversifying across types of protein, carbohydrate, and fat, it's, as long as you're selecting foods that are pretty broad in their nutrient composition, you're not going to have much of a problem, because they will have different nutrient profiles. But if you're getting, if you're getting within 50 to 75% of your requirement every day, and you are averaging on a monthly basis your requirement or more, then, I don't think having like a 30% deficit in vitamin C for 1 week that you overcompensated with the other 3 weeks is going to be a problem. But I do think it will be a problem if you're going to zero vitamin C on your lentil week, So as long as you make sure that your diet looks decent when you look at the vitamins and minerals on a daily basis, then I think that you can rotate these things on a weekly basis, and that's fine. And by looks okay, I mean, say you tracked your food every day for a month in Chronometer, and you exported the nutrition report, and the daily average for the month looks great on everything. If that's the case, then I wouldn't worry if week 1 had 20 or 30% deficits in some things that you made up for with the other weeks. But even if that were the case, and week 1 had 0 vitamin C the whole week, that's where I think you need to work on having a more daily rotation in place. And that doesn't mean that you need to
rotate your whole carbohydrate load between legumes and fruit every day. It just means that you need to add something that has that missing nutrient somewhere in that day to make sure that, just let's say week 1 is lentil week and you're not getting enough vitamin C from lentils. Well, maybe week 1 turns into lentil and fruit week, or lentil and some other source of lentil and bell pepper week, or something like that, to make sure that you are getting the thing you're missing. So I hope that answers your question, RJ. Thank you for your question.
This episode was part of a Q&A for members of the CMJ Masterpass, where I hold monthly private Zoom Q&As for my members. The Masterpass also serves as a buyer's club with exclusive and massive discounts on your favorite premium foods and health products, including pasture-raised and wild meat and seafood, supplements, sleep accessories, water filters, phototherapy devices, and much more. If you'd like to participate in these Q&As, you can join the Masterpass at chrismasterjohnphd.com/masterpass and use the code Q&A, spelled Q-A-N-D-A, Q&A, for 10% lifetime discount. I am currently working full-time on finishing my first book, Vitamins and Minerals 101, How to Get the Nutrients You Need on Any Diet. I will let you know when I have a release date. In the meantime, you can pre-order the book at chrismasterjohnphd.com/book. Testing Nutritional Status, the Ultimate Cheat Sheet, has been newly released as version 1.3. This is my comprehensive system for managing nutritional status with lab tests, dietary analysis, and comprehensive intake of your signs and symptoms. The new version has a comprehensive guide to interpreting the Genova methylation panel. You can pick up your copy at chrismasterjohnphd.com/cheat sheet. In my consulting, I am neither a medical practitioner nor a coach. I serve as your data analyst and your strategist. I teach you scientific principles of health and wellness, help you analyze your data, and help brainstorm actionable strategies. You can sign up for a consultation at chrismasterjohnphd.com/consultations. Please consider supporting my work at no extra cost to you by visiting my support page and making a purchase with one of my affiliate links. Some of my most popular affiliates are also listed in the description of this video, with links that will give me credit for your purchase. I will try to respond to comments when I can, but my presence will be intermittent while I'm finishing my book. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next episode.